This video was sponsored by Figurama Collectors.
If you leave a like on this video, there is a very small chance that the Bleach anime will come back. So please, for the love of God, like the video. We need the anime back. Make it happen, boys. Sorry, I got a little defensive there, but please leave a like. Please save me from my crippling depression. Help me.
Bleach is back, baby!
How's it going, everybody? Too Spooky here. And by golly, it is finally time for yet another Bleach video. I know it's been a while, and this time around we're going to be counting down 5 facts about Coyote Starrk. This video was suggested by all of these lovely people. Truth be told, this is a video I've actually wanted to make for a very long time now. But I just didn't think there was enough interesting information to actually make it viable. But because it had been a while, so many of you wanted it, and because of today's sponsor, I decided to give it another shot. And this time around, through my research, I finally found some interesting information that I was looking for all along. So before we jump into the facts, take this warning about my awful pronunciation, and let's take a look at today's sponsor. Figurama collectors create some of the craziest statues I've ever seen in my life, and they've reached out to me with something really special for you guys. Their new statue, featuring Vastolorde Ichigo versus second release Ukiura, as part of the 20th anniversary Bleach collection. This thing looks absolutely nuts, which is no surprise considering it was created by the team that made Figurama Collector's multi-award-winning Devilman vs. Amon, and its fastest-selling Eren vs. Armored Titan statues, featuring a die-cast metal Zanpakuto for Ichigo, and some of the craziest details I've ever seen on a statue. This piece of art is going to be released on July 25th at 11 PM JST, and luckily for you, I've got a link below if you want to join the wishlist to be alerted the second pre-orders are live. And I cannot stress enough, if you want to pick up this masterpiece, you're gonna have to be quick, because not only is it limited to 1,300 pieces, but it's likely going to sell out within the first 24 hours. Once again, follow the link in the description to check it out, and when you decide to pick one of these bad boys up, be sure to use the coupon code 2SBleach for a $25 discount off the statue. Number 1. To start off with a bang, I figured we should begin with the little tidbit of information that inspired me to try making this video in the first place. In the third databook, it listed the current status of every Espada, which took place after Aizen's defeat but before the 1,000-year Blood War. The status of Starrk in particular was listed as unknown. And why this is so important is because this could imply that Starrk is actually still alive to this day. In the same databook, it listed Hollybell as alive, and she did reappear in the final arc, confirming this fact. While at the same time, Grimmjow was listed as unknown. And like we know by now, Grimmjow did reappear in the final arc, proving he was still alive as well. So seeing that Starrk was also listed as unknown shows me that he very well could still be alive like Grimmjow. Although, unlike Grimmjow, he never appeared in the final arc. So his whereabouts are still unknown, meaning he very well could be dead or alive. But considering we never actually saw him fully perish, he only fell from the sky, I still believe there's at least a very slim chance he's still out there somewhere in the Bleach universe. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Number 2. So now that we've established that Starrk could very well be alive, we should talk about the flashback he had before his loss against Shunsui. In that flashback, he begins remembering all of his comrades within the Espada. The interesting thing to note would be that Yami isn't present, possibly meaning that he and Yami weren't friends, Kubo simply forgot to include him, or maybe Starrk just didn't remember him in that moment.
Number 3.
Each of the Espada are based on a different aspect of death, Starrk's being solitude. Additionally, he is 6 feet 1.5 inches tall, or 187 centimeters tall, and he weighs 169 pounds, or 77 kilograms. And his birthday is January 19th. Also, when it comes to Starrk's namesake, his name was derived from the famous French architect Philippe Starrk. Number 4. As the Primera Espada, let's take a look at his overall strength, abilities, and his resurrection. To start, it should be noted that before Stark was even Stark, he was so powerful as a Vastolorde, a Hollow, or whatever the heck he used to be, that he not only split his power in two, being himself and Lilynette, but before and even after splitting apart, his spiritual pressure was so strong that any Hollows who entered his presence would literally die, just like that. Which is why he agreed to join Aizen in the first place, as Aizen didn't perish just by being near him. Obviously, being the first ranked Espada, his strength and overall abilities are pretty off the charts, in every aspect you could possibly think of, but you could say his specialty was the Cero, as when it came to his standard Cero, it's not only just as powerful as you could possibly imagine, but he can fire it just by standing still, while every other Espada needs to at least make some sort of fighting stance or movement to do so. And to our knowledge, Stark can fire a Cero from literally any point on his body, while other members of the Espada could not do the same. When it comes to his resurrection, the interesting thing to note is that it has nothing to do with the sword that he carries on his waist. The other Espada have their former hollow powers more or less stored within their Zanpakuto, and when released, they take on a form that more or less resembles and uses the abilities they used to have when in their Vastolorde forms. Stark is a unique case, as he does not have a Zanpakuto whatsoever. Instead, the sword he carries is just a normal sword with no special capabilities. His resurrection, which is called Los Lobos, comes from Lilynette. Since he split his power in two to create Lilynette and himself for that matter, she recombines with Stark as his resurrection, in turn giving him an eye patch, a new getup, and two identical pistols. While not directly related, it should also be noted that the concept of these pistols could be a reference to what Bleach was originally supposed to be, back when the series was called Snipe in its prototype stage, where Rukia was going to be the main protagonist with a scythe, while her enemies would consist of various gun wielders. And it's interesting how that concept ended up changing to strictly Zanpakuto all across the board. Aside from the Quincy ranged weapons, Soifon's Bankai, and then of course, Stark's pistols as the only gun-related abilities throughout the series. The pistol he uses in his right hand is able to fire a much stronger Cero than usual, while the one in his left fires much weaker Ceros. However, to make up for their lack in power, he is able to fire up to 1,000 at once. These pistols also have one named technique called Cero Meltrilelta, where Stark uses his right pistol with the much stronger Cero, and before firing, he charges up multiple Cero at the same time, before releasing an absolute barrage of them at his opponent. Stark can also manifest up to 2 energy blades called Komilo, which were shown to be durable enough to go up against a released Zanpakuto without issue. Stark's final ability is simply called Wolves, which is where Stark sacrifices his pistols to create a large pack of energy wolves. These wolves are essentially pieces of Stark and Lilynette's soul, and their purpose is to simply bite their opponents and explode, doing massive damage in the process, as they are noted to be significantly stronger than a Cero. Being that they are composed of energy, these wolves are also noted to be like flames, as they can reform after being cut, and can travel through small cracks. These wolves also had their abilities slightly changed within the anime, as Stark creates more of them after the first wave, which doesn't happen in the manga. This second wave of wolves is also noted to be directly connected with Lilynette in particular, as once all of those wolves disappear, Lilynette would die. After merging with Stark within the manga, Lilynette isn't really heard from again, but during this sequence within the anime, Lilynette is shown able to communicate with Stark, showing us that she still exists as a separate consciousness. Additionally, in the anime, Lilynette also sacrifices herself to save Stark, which doesn't occur in the manga. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, but not for very long, number 5. For our final fact, I felt it was important for me to show off the new version of Stark that transcends Resurrection, which came from a Brave Souls event, commemorating the inclusion of the Can't Fear Your Own World light novel characters within the game. This Hogyoku-infused Stark was designed by Kubo himself, much like the Hogyoku-infused Ukiura he designed for the game previously. The notable changes to Stark in this new form would be that he appears to have 2 Hogyokus within him, giving him a blue and green glowing aura. He gained a much longer ponytail and his hair turns gray. He now has a black eye patch, his clothing turns completely black and appears to be equipped with blue flames, and finally, his pistols have been upgraded to small rifles in each hand. Within the game, his special attack is called Revolver de los Lobos, which is where he fires a blue and green Cerro from his 2 rifles. Oh, you thought we were done? Ha! Well, not quite yet, as I've got one bonus fact for you today at number 6. Like I mentioned earlier about that sword Stark carries on his waist that isn't exactly a Zanpakuto at all, well, a little fun fact about it would be that its hilt originally looked a lot different in Stark's first appearance, versus how it would end up looking later on. But there you have it, everybody. 6 facts about Coyote Starrk. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and learned something new. If you did, make sure to drop a like. While you're at it, be sure to subscribe with those notifications on so you don't miss the next Bleach related video. And be sure to comment what Bleach related topics you'd like to see next. As I know it's been a while since I've talked about Bleach in general, in all honesty, I have been trying to make a few Bleach videos here and there, such as this one and another topic I've wanted to make for a really long time. But each time I kept pushing them back, or when I tried to make them I wasn't able to find all the information I wanted, or I just simply wasn't motivated. But the anime is coming back in 2021, and I've still got a ton of Bleach videos I want to make. In fact, you can expect another one a few uploads from now. Ho ho! No spoils on the topic though. Follow me on Twitter at 2SpookyTube to keep up with the channel, follow me on Twitch at 2Spookster, and check out my new podcast American Sushi along with my other channels. All the links will be in the description below. Once again, thank you to our sponsor, Figurama Collectors. I was really excited to work with them to show off their new Bleach statue, and I really hope you guys decide to pick them up because it looks amazing. Link to it in the description, and don't forget to use code 2SBleach for $25 off. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon with a new video.
I let the years go by so quickly, I don't know if I feel okay with how I left. I know